Guess what, guys? Humidifiers are a myth. They're totally worthless. They're totally useless. You don't need them. Your plants don't need them. They're a waste of money and they're a waste of time. And I'm gonna tell you why. Hello everyone and welcome to The Mess. My name is Jay, also known as Plant Gay for Life. Sorry, I'm still sick. I was going to put out the voiceover videos and stuff, but I'm still sick and I can't record anything right now. So we're going to do a video on humidifiers and why I hate them and why I threw mine out. You know, I used to have two humidifiers because I saw everyone using humidifiers and I would hear that humidifiers would help your tropical plants thrive, and so I invested in two humidifiers and I had them right here, and there was a sauna in here. It was crazy. It was great for my skin. Not so great at sleeping because I would be sweaty and oily at night. That's a whole different set of memories that I want to forget because that was not enjoyable. But I will say not only were there more cons than pros when it comes to the humidifiers that I had in my experience, there were virtually no pros at all. There were no pros. It was lose, lose, lose. So right off the bat, I'm going to tell you that humidifiers can actually be very dangerous if you have electronics, if you have computers and things like that, outlets, your grow lights, for example. My humidifiers actually damaged my electronics. They damaged my computer screen. I had to replace my screen 3 times because the sides were apparently getting water in them or something, and it was actually damaging the screen. Luckily, it was within warranty by, get this, 1 day. I'd had it for almost a full year and the warranty was almost going to expire. I think my computer knows I'm talking about it because it's blowing. Do you hear that? Why are you... I don't know. Maybe I just have too much stuff open. I gotta close some tabs. But yeah, these humidifiers, they were over here, my computer's over there, a good 15 feet away. Good 15 feet away! And it was damaging my screen. And if it was damaging a computer screen that far away, I cannot imagine the damage that it was doing to my plugs and all my outlets and all my grow lights that were all plugged in 3 to 5 feet away. I was like, oh my god, am I gonna start a fire? If I'm lucky, it'll just short out and my grow lights will just have a shorter lifespan. But what if they were gonna start a fire? Now, if you have a humidifier in an enclosed space like a grow tent, and you have a waterproof grow light, and your electronics that are in the grow tent are waterproof sized, you know what I'm trying to say. You're probably okay. But when it comes to having humidifiers in your main room, in your home, by your plant shelf, where all your plants are, and it may look kind of pretty and exotic to see like the mist blowing, but honestly guys, it's doing more harm than good, and it can actually put you at risk. That's number one. Turn this shit. Listen, sir, you are blowing too much. I need you to go to sleep for a second, okay? Number two, the maintenance for humidifiers did not justify any of the results that I was seeing from them. Mine were pretty big. No, it was about this big. It was pretty big. These things needed to be refilled every 2 days. Every 2 days, I had to take it out, I had to flip it, I had to take it to the sink, I had to fill it up with water, I had to bring it back, put it back in. It would drip water, taking it out, putting it back in. It was messy. The upkeep was too much. You also had to clean the inside of the tanks regularly because think about it, when you have a dark space with water, you're gonna get mold, and there was a lot of mold. And when you have moldy water being misted out into your air, you can spread bacteria, fungal diseases. I mean, you can imagine how bad that is, not just for your plant health, but for your health. You're just gonna be breathing in moldy air and bad bacteria, and who wants that? You don't want that. I don't want that for you or me. That's why I got rid of them. So yeah, it was very difficult to clean them. You had to get into all the nooks and crannies and everything. You had to make sure you didn't miss nothing. Also, you couldn't put anything in there like alcohol to kill it because what do you want? Alcohol being misted into your air? I mean, that's not good for your plants either. You're also not able to put anything besides water into pretty much all of these humidifiers. They always say, don't put essential oils in, don't put anything except tap water or distilled water or whatever kind of water, RO water, whatever water you want to use. Now, I live in a studio apartment. What am I doing with my hand? What is this? Now, I live in a studio apartment. It's a pretty small space. You would think having 2 humidifiers going at the same time would increase the humidity by a considerable amount, right? It increased the humidity by 5%. on average, on a good day, when I didn't have the fan running. If I had the fan running, then it was pretty much nothing. But at most, I was able to increase my humidity by about 5%. 5%, people. So these humidifiers, they really don't do anything unless you want to put them into an enclosed space, like I said, a grow tent or a cabinet. But even that can lead to issues because when you have an enclosed space, like a tent or something, you gotta have the fan going, that air's gotta be moving around, or else you're gonna get fungal diseases and there's just gonna be too much stagnant water. It's not gonna be the same environment as a rainforest where not only is the humidity really high, but the airflow is just perfect. It's the perfect environment. We just can't recreate that ourselves. And you know, back in the day when I had fiddly figs, I had strelitzias, which are the birds of paradise, I had palms, I had so many palms. I had all tropical plants, and I still do. And everyone online was saying that they wanted high humidity, so I tried to give them as much high humidity as I could. I would spray my plants every day, which by the way, that doesn't do anything either. If you want to spray your plants, only spray your plants if you want to spray off any dust that's accumulated, or if you want to wash off any potential pests so they don't set up shop and create, you know, like a pest outbreak. Because spraying your plant with water is a lot less harmful than spraying your plant with the neem oil and, you know, the horticultural oil and all that stuff. Because if you don't dilute it properly, then it can cause some damage to the foliage and things like that, and we don't want that. We want nice pristine leaves, right? But even though the humidity overall only increased by about 5% on any given day, that doesn't mean it was 5% all throughout the apartment. You know, so for example, I had plants like my fiddly fig that everyone said, you know, wanted high humidity, or other plants like my strelitzias when a new leaf was coming out. I would put them near the humidifier thinking that, oh, that higher humidity would help them flourish or whatever. And when I was gonna go away for a vacation for a week, I was like, oh my God, are my plants just going to because the humidifiers are gonna run out after 2 days? Well guys, I came back and to my surprise, not a single one flinched. They had gone about 5 or so days without high humidity. It had dropped down from, you know, I'm like high humidity. It had dropped from like 60, 65% to like 55 or lower 50s, and they were fine. Now, if you're living in a dry environment, and you're like, well, Jay, 50% humidity, I mean, that's why your plants are doing fine, because that, you know, that's enough humidity. Can y'all see that? 33% humidity. Now, I'm holding this right now, so the humidity is actually going up because I have very clammy hands. And guys, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. 32% humidity. I'm sorry. What? Huh? What is this? What is this? What is this? And what is this? What is this? What is this? Well, oh, you can't see that. What is this? Look at this. What is this? I'm sorry. What is this? What is it? Oh, hold on. What is this? What is this? Look at this. Look at this. And look at this. Look at this. 32% humidity, people. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Guys, if you saw my anthurium growing in low humidity video from a couple weeks ago, or like a week ago, I don't even know. Look at this leaf. This leaf is fully hardened off. That leaf that was coming in on my Maglux. Look at this thing. Look at what? 30 to 35% humidity? Are you flippin' kidding me? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Can you feel it, Mr. Krabs? Can you feel it, Mr. Krabs? So yes, guys, not only did my entire plant collection not even flinch when my humidifiers were turned off, but even during the winter, they don't flinch, they don't go dormant, they don't put out smaller leaves. I mean, these leaves back here, this leaf just came out like a week ago. It hasn't even fully hardened off, people, and we're in January. Motherfucker. Oh, by the way, guys, I had my humidifiers long before I used my no drainage system, long before I was growing plants in vases and all that stuff that I talk about that, you know, kind of keeps the roots in a humid environment. That is a great alternative when you have a drier environment. But I had my plants potted in traditional pots with soil and the whole shebang when I had my humidifiers. So the vases, they weren't a factor. Aside from my terrariums, and by the way, the only reason most of my plants are in the terrariums, like my giant terrarium cabinet, all those plants are in there just for aesthetics. I had grown pretty much all of those plants outside of the greenhouse, outside of the terrarium. So yeah, they're getting 90 to 100% humidity, but they don't need it necessarily. They can be acclimated back down to 30%. And that's the thing about plants, guys. Plants, I don't think people understand that you try so hard to recreate their natural environment, right? Here's the thing, guys. Plants don't need their native environment to be recreated. They just need the essentials to survive, and they will adapt. That is the thing about plants. Okay, let me just blow your mind for a second. Plants are just like people. What I mean by that is our native environment is Africa. That's where we came from a few 100,000 years ago. Now, if you tried to drop my ass in the middle of the savannah, I would not last a single freaking day because I have been pampered and accustomed to that all-American lifestyle, bitch. Meanwhile, there are obviously plenty of people still living in Africa, and there are even tribes that have been living the way they've been living for tens, hundreds of thousands of years. We have isolated tribes that are still living the way all humans were essentially living back in the day. Human beings, we adapt. When our ancestors, when we left Africa, our bodies produce less and less melanin. That's why we have lighter skin, Northern European. And people that have ancestry, closer to the equator, closer to the sun, your bodies are gonna produce more and more melanin to protect your skin. That is human beings adapting. That is our vessels, our bodies, if you will, adapting to our environment. And all animals adapt to their environment. I'm not talking about long-term evolution. I'm talking about short-term, within just a couple of generations, or even just a short lifetime, a short span of a few years. We can adapt, and the same goes with plants. Plants can adapt. Now, they're going to need help. Not every plant is equal. Some plants need a little bit of pampering. Some plants need a lot of pampering. Some plants are tough as nails. They're tough as nails, and you can put them anywhere in your home and they will just cling to life no matter what. I'm thinking about like Epipremnum aureum, also known as the golden pothos. That and the queen anthurium I just showed you, they're not exactly apples to apples, but you can acclimate a queen or something else just as finicky to your household environment. You can acclimate it to your space if you just give it time. And if you figure out certain care hacks that work for you, you can make it work, guys. Your plants have one goal in life: to survive. They want to thrive for you guys. Stop calling your plants diva, stop calling this plant a bitch, stop calling this plant whatever. These plants want to thrive for you because they want to thrive for themselves. They want to live. It's a matter of life and death for them, people. So they will do their absolute best to adapt to your environment. You have to give them some time. You have to give them some wiggle room. You might have to acclimate them to your space over a certain period of time, but they can adapt to your space almost every single time. It's all about adapting, guys. We are on this earth, this beautiful paradise that is constantly changing and shifting, and we have to adapt in order to survive. And that's what plants do. So I'm here to tell you guys right now that high humidity is 100% not needed. It's not needed, guys. You don't need your humidifiers. Throw your humidifiers out. You don't need them. They're a placebo. They're a waste of time. I'm sorry, they are. Turn your humidifiers off. I dare you. I dare you. Okay, now if you have humidifiers in a grow tent where you're pampering plants and your humidity is like 90%, that's one thing. But if you have humidifiers in your space, your open space, your living space, turn your humidifiers off and see what happens. Turn them off for a week. Turn them off for a few days. Turn them off for a month. You're not gonna see much of a difference, guys. I'm just telling you right now, you're not going to see a difference. So yes, that is my rant for today. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you agree or disagree with this hot mess on YouTube in the comments below. If you like me, great. If you hate me, even better. Subscribe anyway. I'd love to see you when I post my next video. All right, this has been the hot mess, Jake and Zara, also known as Plant Gay for Life. Throw away humidifiers, do it now.